And I'm here to talk to you about prayer. This is the first of our classes where we're going to really look at the depths and the philosophy behind why we pray and how we do it. So I want to start with a big question. Why do we pray? There are really two competing philosophies here. On one hand, I have my Greek-Roman philosophy, and on the other hand, I have my Jewish philosophy. The Greco-Romans were polytheists. That means that many theist gods. They believed in many, many gods. And the way that they would pray is that they would go to whatever god was pertinent in their situation and try and make him happy. The idea is if I make him happy, he'll give me what I want. So let's say I'm a sea merchant. I'm a Roman sea merchant. I go to the god Neptune. I have a little idol of him sitting in my house, and I say, "Oh, God Neptune, you rock, you're awesome. Please help me out. I got to get myself from point A to point B. Can you help a girl out? Can you help me out?" In order to get Neptune to help me out, I'm going to try and do whatever I can to appease him. You're awesome and wonderful and incredible. You're amazing. You're the man. Neptune, you are the man. So really what we had in Greek and Roman God theory was a lot of very insecure deities. A lot of very insecure deities who need a lot of praise in order to get you to do what they wanted you to do. So that's great for Greeks and Romans, but doesn't quite work with Judaism. Let's understand why. In Judaism, we are monotheistic, one God. And trust me, our God doesn't really have a self-esteem issue. In Judaism, God is not a little man sitting on a cloud. That's ridiculous. It has to be. And listen, I'll tell you why. This is one of my husband's favorite jokes, so I have to tell it to you. Why is God not a little man sitting on a cloud in Judaism? There are 3 reasons. Reason number 1, gravity. Little men can't sit on clouds. They would just fall through. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea. You try and sit. How little are we talking? We're talking like elf, pixie, fairy. Like, how little does God have to be able to sit on a cloud? That's ridiculous. Are you talking like a little Lego man? I have a 9-year-old son. He's super, super cute. If he dropped a Lego man out of an aeroplane, that Lego man would still not be able to rest on the cloud. In fact, it would just fall to earth where I would step on it. And as any parent of boys knows, stepping on Lego is the most painful thing in the entire world. Anyway, I digress. So, number 1, God cannot be a little man sitting on a cloud due to gravity. Number 2, aeroplanes. I don't know whether you've ever flown on an airplane where you're flying into something which is like particularly beautiful. I was once flying into a New York airport, and the pilot comes onto the tannoy system, and he's obviously very excited to, speak to everyone. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, those of you sitting on the right side of the plane are going to have a treat today." And we were like, "Ooh, free ice cream? No." Right? He goes, "You are going to have the most spectacular view of the skyline of Manhattan as we come in for our final approach." Ooh, people on the right side of the plane are like, "Got it, man, yeah." Can you imagine this? "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. Welcome aboard our flight. We're very excited today as our flight will be going right past God." No, obviously not, right? Can you imagine? You're sitting in the airport, you're waiting for your flight, and suddenly it ticks up. Delayed, 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 delayed. "Ladies and gentlemen, waiting for flight 398 to the middle of nowhere. I am so sorry to announce that your flight has been delayed. This is due to a low-flying God." Right? There is no God airspace. God cannot be a little man sitting on a cloud. Number 1, gravity. Number 2, airplanes. Number 3, oxygen. God cannot be a little man sitting on a plane because of cloud because of oxygen. Right? Get this. This is what he'd sound like. Kind of like Darth Vader style, Jesus, I am your father. Sorry, wrong religion. But you get what I'm talking about. Everyone knows that God has a perfect English accent. In Judaism, the concept that God is a little man sitting on a cloud that I have to appease through my prayers, it's a ridiculous idea. It makes no sense. God in Judaism is much more of an energy. It's the energy that runs and sustains the world. It does not have a self-esteem issue. In fact, even more than that, we are told time and time again in our sources that you can do nothing for God and that God cannot change. God can't change. Therefore, if God can't change, then what am I trying to do? He's going from sad to happy because I prayed for him? That's ridiculous. If this is the case, then we have to ask ourselves a really deep and hard question. If there is nothing that I can do for God, yet I am obligated in Judaism to pray, then what's going on here? What is changing? If God can't change, what changes? There are only two things in a prayer relationship: me and God. If it's not about God, then it must be about me. In fact, if you take the Hebrew word to pray, lahit palal, to pray, lahit palal, you break it up. La, that just makes it infinitive, to do something. Hit is reflexive. To do something to myself. Okay? It's a little bit like French. Se laver. To wash yourself, right? It's reflexive. Hit is reflexive. Palal, something which is linked very close to the word palal, is pula, which is program or work. To do something to myself. To do what to myself? To work on myself. Literally, in Judaism, prayer is not about making God happy. Prayer is about working on yourself. That is Jewish philosophy. You see, the reason why we pray isn't to change God. The reason why we pray is to change ourselves.